Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
Bandwidth for All About Android is provided by CacheFly at CacheFly.com.
This episode of All About Android is brought to you by CuriosityStream, a subscription streaming service that offers over 1,500 documentaries and nonfiction series from the world's best filmmakers. Get unlimited access starting at just $2.99 a month. And for our audience, the first 2 months are completely free if you sign up at curiositystream.com/twit and use the offer code TWIT. And by Grasshopper. Stay connected and run your business from your mobile phone with Grasshopper. To save $50 on your order, visit trygrasshopper.com/twit. Hello and welcome to another episode of All About Android. This is episode 289, recorded on Tuesday, October 25th, 2016. We're your weekly source for the latest news, hardware, and apps for the Android faithful. I'm Jason Howell.
I'm Ron Richards.
And I'm Florence Ion.
Hello.
Slash
good to see you.
Juror number 11.
Ooh, I know.
Juror
You had
11.
jury duty.
I did.
No longer, though, right?
No longer. I was dismissed
Dismissed.
for being too emotive. I'm assuming.
Is that what they told? Is that what they told you?
That was the first thing the defense came after me for. She was like, Juror 11, you were very emotional yesterday when we were. I was like, yes, I was. You really saw me, didn't you? Anyway.
Jury duty can be kind of stressful. Although I've never actually been called up to that point.
To the box?
Yeah, it's never happened.
It was kind of enthralling.
I want that.
Yeah.
I want a murder trial. I want everything. I want to be sequestered someday.
You're in New York,
that's,
so you're lucky.
That's
You've
the
got
dream.
plenty of that
Yeah,
there.
I know.
That's the dream.
Sorry.
I don't know. That sounds pretty stressful to me.
I want a stipend. I want everything. I want to be taught. I want to be given instructions. It's gonna be great. So.
They don't give you your $15 if your employer pays you already.
Oh.
So you don't get that extra bit of money. Just FYI.
Oh well.
Well, that's lame. Joining us welcoming back to the show, because I think it's probably been about this time last year, because it seems like every year for the Big Android BBQ or right around those parts, we have Aaron Castor on. How's it going, Aaron?
Woo, doing great.
Woo! Planning to do awesome stuff on your lower third. We're going to talk all about that because, I mean, you've had a lot of time building up Big Android BBQ, all sorts of events and everything. And it turns out, I found out this morning, I heard this morning from a very nice fan of the show that you are not doing Big Android BBQ anymore. We're going to talk to you about that today. I hope you're ready.
Let's talk about it.
Oh my God, controversy on today's All About Android.
We're going to get to the bottom of this and see what's going on. But not until we talk about just a little bit of news here. We're going to be discussing, on today's show, we've got lots of topics, almost all hardware related. LeEco or LeEco?
It's LeEco.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Seriously?
We'll have a discussion.
Okay, LeEco. It's the first time I've heard it pronounced that way. I just assumed it was LeEco. LeEco's U.S. entrance, the new BlackBerry DTEK60, a look at the final version of the LG V20. I feel like the LG V20 has been on 5 episodes at this point. The ZTE Axon 7 Mini. We've got Xiaomi's bezel-less concept phone called the Mi Mix. And, of course, Big Android BBQ's walk into the sunset. BBQ. We're going to talk about all that and a whole lot more. But before that, we've got to give Brian his chance to become famous with the news.
Well, I hope you brought your gavel because you've been subpoenaed to the court of Android. Prepare for Android news.
Well done. That was one of the better ones. Good job, Brian.
Got a juror too.
Yeah. So Google Pixels have been shipping. I saw one in the wild last week. Actually, a friend of mine who is a Googler had his, and he let me play with his. So I got to hold a Google Pixel and see it. There it is right there. And now that the phone has been released into the wild, we're getting a little more information about the origins of the Pixel. And of course, our good friend Ron Amadeo over at Ars Technica picked apart a little breadcrumb trail that led to the Pixel and the journey it took. And this is what he found. Some true, I don't know, true, but the origins of the Pixel. It was likely originally planned to be partnered with Huawei and not HTC, but Huawei wanted branding demanding, and Google didn't want to give it up, and HTC clearly didn't worry about that as much. At the end of 2015, plans with Huawei got eviscerated, so Google hit up HTC. Coming from David Pierce from Wired, the Pixel only took 9 months to develop, and waterproofing was a casualty of that, which is something that we speculated about. Why wasn't the phone waterproofed? And there's your answer. Motorola regularly spoke of an 18-month pipeline to create phones, and so likely HTC played a bigger role than just a manufacturer. The similarities in design to the A9, 350 plus commits from HTC engineers, the removal of HTC Cerebrus from the source code, which shows a lot of that. And the quote that's being summed up for this is the best Google can do in a limited amount of time. And the expectations for the Pixel 2 are going to be that much higher. So given these little bits of trails that lead to the origin of the Pixel, are we surprised now that we've got the Pixel in our hands? And does it lessen your opinion of the phone?
No.
Jason, what do you think?
Flo seems to have an answer here. Go, Flo.
Well, now I just feel like Ron is trying to get me for the jury. Like, will this lessen your opinion? Will this affect your objectivity? Like, no, Ron, it will not.
Remember, you're on the
affect.
record.
I know, my God, that's like so nerve-wracking. It's not, it doesn't lessen my opinion of it. I think it tells a more interesting story for down the line, like it gives me something more to look forward to, I want to say. Because in the beginning I was like, ugh. God, redoing everything. This is so much to deal with.
You mean with the elimination of Nexus and with the
just like changing the
Pixel
whole
and the pricing structure?
I want to say change the whole lifestyle, right? Because Android is no longer like nerds, tinker, yeah. It's like
we want you and you and you too.
Everybody, which I am a big fan of that, but it is a different approach.
Be together, not the same.
Yeah, precisely.
I will admit, I tweeted about this. I actually saw a Pixel ad in the wild when I was watching. I forget what I was watching. It might have been Saturday Night Live. I forget what show. But I saw a Pixel ad in the wild with using like actual music that I listen to, which is kind of obscure. And I was like, wow, it was a 90s indie rock song by a band called The Sixth.
Oh, okay.
That with Stephen Merritt from the Magnetic Fields. But I was like, whoa, but it was a good ad, and it's the same ad campaign that we saw with the pre-announcement with the shape of the phone. We should find that and I'll share it with you guys. But I don't know. Aaron, have you got a chance to play with the Pixel? What do you think of it?
Yeah, there were quite a few of them out at the barbecue.
I figured there
this
would be.
weekend.
Yeah,
and it's funny. One of them had already been broken. Because it's an extremely slippery device. Like, I mean, I almost dropped one twice just trying to look at one. It definitely needs a case or a bumper or something just to give you something to hold on to. I'm surprised you're still holding it right now and you haven't dropped it several times.
Look, I can hold it with one finger. You want to see? No, I'm not going to do that. This is Leo's phone.
Yeah, I do. It seems very smooth and fast, but again, it's brand new. So give it 6 months, and that can change everything with Android. But I don't know. I was hoping to be convinced that I should get rid of my 6P and switch to the Pixel. I was not convinced, so I'm going to stick with my 6P probably for another year or so.
You mean Assistant wasn't enough?
I haven't been impressed with Assistant so far.
Okay.
I have Alexa at home. Hopefully she didn't hear me or my lights will turn off or something.
Yeah, be careful. You probably set off at least a few of our listeners. That's because that's how it works. And it's impossible to avoid that.
Brian's got the ad that I was speaking of.
We have located the ad.
Yeah, we have located the ad. So we
scoured the internet high and low.
Well, that's the wrong one, Brian. That's the one Flo found.
Oh,
but yeah, there we go.
Don't listen to Flo.
Yeah. But what's interesting is that the ad starts at the search bar, and then it expands out and forms the shape of much like Voltron. That is
some psychological marketing right there.
Yep.
Well, I mean, this is how they introduce the event, right? And obviously,
exactly.
That's them kind of taking that marketing approach.
But it's still interesting. Like from search bar to phone.
Yeah, well, I mean, it certainly speaks
Google
to
search in a phone.
It certainly speaks to the priority of Google.
And also, that song is one of my favorite songs ever that I put on many a mixtape. So there you go.
So Google's telling you.
Yeah. I was freaked out.
Google did a great job reaching you, Ron.
But they
need to reach all the Rons of the world.
They did a great job reaching people, though, because we almost had remember when the Nexus 5 launched and there was all those crazy shortages and all that sort of stuff? Oh, yeah. The Pixel pre-order demand totally exceeded expectations. And I think last I saw, it's a 5-week shipping delay between an order and purchasing it, which is crazy. But clearly it worked. I mean, it seems to have resonated. Do we think that it's because of the Samsung Galaxy Note?
I don't know.
Because did you guys, this is not in the docket today, but did you guys see that story that I read during my lunch break in court?
Oh, that story. No, I don't know what story you're talking
about. That one story, I forget where I read it, but I read it this morning, and it was Sprint CEO saying that people aren't really killing their notes. Like, they're not leaving Samsung. They're just swapping it in for Galaxy.
Well, Samsung's is kind of sweetening the pot, too. At least in South Korea. Giving some sort of a trade to the Note 8, which Samsung has said there will be a Note 8, so the Note series is not going away entirely. So that's going to happen next year. I mean, I'm waiting for my Pixel. You're waiting. You're getting yours tomorrow, right?
Between tomorrow and Friday.
Oh.
So I hope it's tomorrow.
Does your trackings give you anything more specific?
I don't know. I'll check it, though.
Check that. My Google says that.
Yeah.
But the actual tracking says end of day Thursday. So I'll be getting it then. And I don't know. Like, I was talking with Leo about it a little bit. This is actually Leo's device. He let me use it, and I logged into guest mode so that I don't make any sort of surprise reveals. But we were kind of talking about it, and he gave me his iPhone 7 to hold kind of side by side. What is going on? Get out of here, other phone.
I'm on a show.
I know. Geez, don't they know, whoever you are? Yeah. And, holding them side by side and just being like, okay, so these are roughly the same cost devices. Does one feel more premium than the other? The iPhone 7 definitely, side by side felt like it justified the cost just from a feeling standpoint, let's say. But it's also like covered front and back with, I don't know if it's glass or is it ceramic or glass with the iPhone 7? I can't remember. But anyways, it's just a different feel. Like, this definitely, I don't know. I almost feel like in some ways Google's mission in the beginning, and based on what Ron Amadio had kind of written, it really seems like Google really wanted a premium priced phone. They came out of the gate saying, we need to portray to everyone that we've got a phone that goes toe to toe with everybody else's, and with that comes a premium price. It's almost like they started with the price first, and they said, okay, let's make a phone to justify it. And I don't know if they have. I'm not saying that they won't, and I'm actually not even saying that they haven't, because I haven't played with this long enough to know, but it feels that way.
I think I agree with you, Jason, because I think up to this point we've seen, with the exception of the 6P, we've seen the Nexus line being reasonably priced, and I wonder if they think that it's being dismissed because of that, and took the opposite approach of like a OnePlus, which is, we're going to give you a really great phone at a low price, to we're going to give you a really great phone at the same price of the iPhone, and therefore you're going to think it's of the same value as the iPhone, or something along those lines. I think there's something to that.
Mm-hmm. Bleak is correcting me just real quick. Yeah, not ceramic on the iPhone. He said it's coating. Only the Apple Watch is ceramic. And it's not even just the coating, right? Like, sometimes when you hold a phone, it feels, I don't know. It's hard to explain, but like, you can hold two phones and one feels more solid, more substantial, let's say, than the other. And kind of holding them side by side, it was kind of like,
It was kind of like holding two iPhones.
Well,
that's how I felt when I held it on Saturday.
When you held the Pixel on Saturday?
Yeah.
I mean, it's nice. I don't know. Maybe I just play around with too many phones. Maybe at this point I'm just a little jaded.
Well, I mean, I was just looking. So my phone's supposed to be here tomorrow night. Apparently, it was last seen in Salt Lake City.
It's been spotted.
It's scheduled for delivery tomorrow.
Oh, okay, that's good.
But I have like a review to write, and I have like another 6-month review to write, and so
you'll be up all night?
not like have time to use this phone for a while, the Pixel, to actually be able to.
Yeah, I hear you.
You know what I mean? Wow. Like, get into it, because I have to pop my SIM into a bunch of other,
Yeah. So, Aaron, are you compelled to get one for yourself?
No. Just keep it simple.
Yeah.
No. I mean, it's nice. It's a pretty phone, but I just, other than it being fresh and fast, and that's about it. That's all I was really intrigued by, is it ran faster and smoother than my current device, but my current device is also almost a year old, and In my experience, Android slows down significantly over time. So
Yeah,
that can change.
I'm starting to feel that on the Robin just today. Actually, I had to reboot because it was just sluggish as all get out. So, which actually had me reconsidering my decision to pump the brakes on the Pixel and wait until after the holidays. And I'm like, well, maybe I could order one and get it later in a month. And
Yeah.
So
Factory
what's
reset
like a
every
slow
6 months
bird?
helps.
What would you call the next bit if it became slow? What's a slow bird?
Slow bird. Yeah,
slow bird.
I think that works.
Just the next bit, slow bird.
It's no longer a free bird. It's a slow bird.
I mean, is Robin notoriously fast bird?
That's I don't know.
Anyway,
This is not
Maybe
all
they
about
call it like the
birds.
Falcon
Sorry.
or something.
This is all about
someday
Android.
will be about birds because
All about
Turkey.
birds.
There we go. Call it the turkey.
All right. I'm still looking forward to my time with the,
It's a good phone,
Pixel
though. I like
when
the
it comes through.
we
And,
should come back here to all about Android.
we should next Tuesday. That's what we-
Let's do it.
But maybe in 2 Tuesdays, we should have a roundtable discussion about our experiences with the phone as a daily driver.
Let's do
and
it.
compare notes.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Sold. Sold to the Flow sitting next to me.
The flu.
Sure, number 11.
All right, so I got a message this morning from big fan of the show and a big fan of Aaron's, Marlon, the guy from Trinidad. We hear from Marlon all the time. He's a great guy. He said this on Google Plus. He said, "I hope we can have the awesome Aaron Caston on the show soon as a wrap up of the 7 great years of Android barbecue." It means Big Android BBQ. Even though I never attended, I have been impacted by so much that has come out of this event. So, and then, he reshared your post, basically kind of, I suppose, announcing on Google Plus the resignation speech or a summary of the resignation speech from the event. It was basically what
it was what I gave at the end of the event, just to kind of say, hey, thanks everybody, and then let's go party. That was really kind, Marlon, by the way. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
very nice of you.
He's a good guy.
Marlon's the best. He's great. I love him.
So, so first, before we kind of talk about kind of the decision to end Big Android BBQ, you had it this weekend. It was the event. How did it go? What were some of the highlights for you?
Oh man, this was one of the best for sure. Probably outside of the first year, I think this may have been my favorite event. It was scaled back significantly from last year. I don't know if you remember last year we had Google as our title sponsor, and we went big. We went really big last year. Over 1,000 people attend. We had over 900 attend, very close to 1,000 attend, and like 1,200 people registered.
Wow. It's a lot of people.
Yeah, it was over 1,000. No, but it was much smaller this year, less than half that, and it made it more intimate. You got to talk to every single person there. I was surprised to hear that the sponsors actually preferred it this year to last year because they were able to talk to all of the attendees. So it was more of a quality versus quantity situation, I guess. We brought out students again this year, which is really what the nonprofit idea is all about, getting these kids out and exposing them to these opportunities that are available, and showing them that, the barrier of entry into getting into tech is lower than it's ever been. And there's so many tools out there that you can use to get into this industry and make a difference and improve diversity, improve the ideas that are coming into the field. I mean, it's just the more we get these kids excited and these new groups of people coming into the industry, the better it's going to be, the stronger we'll be. So it's really exciting to get them involved. We got pizza for them. We comped their tickets. That's really where the nonprofit idea came into play. But as far as the whole event, it was, great speakers as usual. Ian Lake was there. Chet Haas spoke again. He gave 2 sessions. Richard Hay from Google was there. We had Twitter there speaking. Just great speakers. Cyanogen was there again. And he gave one of the most fascinating talks.
Matteo Doni was there.
Matteo was there for sure. Martin, Chris Guzman, Hod Greeley. I don't know if you've ever heard him talk. He's really good. Thank you for putting that up. It makes it so much easier for me to go from now.
Russell Holler. Lots of
speakers,
familiar names, especially to the audience of this show.
Yeah, our speakers are top notch. Excellent sessions. Like I was saying, Cyanogen gave one that was really interesting. Like, it was kind of a deep dive into his worst nightmare as a coder, when the worst thing that ever happened to him happened. And it was just really fascinating to kind of hear that thought process. It seems, why every time when I am on this show and it's my turn does my video go to crap? This is like every single time.
It's a conspiracy.
It is.
Just as you were talking about disasters.
This is my worst nightmare. Now, I'm sorry for my video. I don't know what happened.
No, it's okay. It's okay. We can still hear you, and that's the most important part. So
I'll shut down Plex. That'll probably help.
That would help.
Jeez.
Yeah. Turn off BitTorrent.
Turn off BitTorrent. Shut down Plex.
So yeah, one of my favorite events by far. It ran so smooth. I was so nervous going into this event because we had several, I don't want to say disasters, but some issues come up where people who are extremely important to the event could not make it at the last second. Corey, who is kind of my right-hand man, couldn't make it, unfortunately, at the last minute. Angelica, our communications officer, couldn't make it at the last minute. And then Chaka Armstrong, who you may have seen online, was supposed to give our keynote. We did we called it Cradle to Career Pathways to Success in Tech. And it was a diversity roundtable. And his wife was in a car accident on Tuesday last week. And so he wasn't able to make it at the last second. And it was a huge pile of things that everybody made the right decision for not coming. I couldn't fault them for it at all. And I would have made the exact same decisions, but it just was extremely stressful and frightening going into, our largest event of the year. But the team rallied and pulled it off, and Corey and Angelica and Tashaka helped as much as they could from remote. And at the end of the day, I think it was my second favorite event that we've ever done, outside of the first one being my favorite, just because I made lifelong friendships that year. Sure.
And that started quite a legacy. I mean, 7 years is no joke.
Yeah, tell me about it. But then I don't know. It was good to go out on top. I think that's kind of how I felt about it. It was a smaller event. It was actually our smallest event ever, but it was the most personal for me. It was really nice.
So then, why the decision to stop it?
Sometimes great things have to end, and it's sad when that happens. But it was time for me to. I have a family now. Yeah. I love that picture. And I have to make tough decisions. It's a nonprofit. We struggle every year to bring in enough money just to do the events and cover our costs and have enough money to pay for the kids to come out to the event. We don't have any large backers that fund the organization. And so every year it's basically I have to go on a sales tour all over again. It starts over.
That's exhausting.
And it's exhausting. It's high stress. And as the industry has changed a little bit over time, and I took some credit for it in what I posted, and I do believe that we kind of, I don't know if pioneered, but we certainly were one of the first to do what we were doing and show that tech needs to be outside of San Francisco, Seattle, New York, and these hubs that tend to get all the attention, all the events. And since then, now they're everywhere. Google had, I don't know how many dev fests this year, but they were all over the world. There was one in almost every city I heard about. And so once those companies start doing their own events in these places that we were trying to grow into, we can't compete against that. And we don't want to compete. The goal originally was to create events that anybody could go to from anywhere in the world. And those exist now. So we achieved our goal. Mission was accomplished. Once that happened, we tried to transition. I don't want to say pivot, because we didn't really pivot. We continued to do what we were doing, but we wanted to take on a new mission, if you will. And with that, we took on diversity. We thought, we looked at what people were doing out there and what we could do differently, and how we thought we could apply what we do well to solve the problem. And what we came up with was hosting events in places that other companies still aren't hosting events, that maybe are being overlooked a little bit, and bringing out groups of people who are not targeted. For our Seattle event, we reached out to women's shelters. We work with STEM schools. We work with inner city schools. We work with, anybody who will talk to us that is not, running a code school, basically. And we work on getting these people out there to show them, hey, we've got these tools like with Udacity, Pluralsight, Learning Tree, all these great online resources that are available. And you can come to our event, get inspired, learn a little bit to get you started, and then move forward and eventually maybe get a great job out of what started at one of our events. And that's really, I kind of lost my train of thought there, but that's really kind of where we transitioned into.
Sure.
Is this new, trying to solve a new problem. And I think we succeeded there too. Now, again, the DevFest came out and they're all free now, and they're all over the country. And companies in the last 3 years have really started looking at this problem and trying to. They're not just talking about it anymore. They're doing stuff to fix it. And I'm hoping in the long run I can continue in some other form to play a role in that, because I'm passionate about it. And I believe in reaching out to our youth and educating a diverse workforce, because the best ideas don't come from the same type of people every time.
Right. Yeah, and that's a recurring problem, issue, struggle that we see, especially in the technology world right now, is having that diverse kind of perspective. And you only get that through diversity in the people that are behind the scenes, moving that influence into the things that everybody sees on the front of the scenes. So what exactly is next for you then beyond this?
Well, my goal originally was to take a month or so off and just kind of spend more time with my family. I've got my little 1-year-old, 1 year and 1 month. I guess 13th month is 13 months is how you're supposed to say it.
Yeah,
1
right.
year and 1
Lucky.
month. Yeah, he's amazing, and best thing that's ever happened to me. But it really surprised me that I've had a lot of contacts over the last few days, and it was. So I don't know. I really don't know. I don't have a plan. I was going to start looking for a job, in like December, November, middle of November, work on a resume. I haven't written a resume in over 10 years, so I've been self-employed for a long time.
Yeah, fair enough.
So, but I'm excited. There's some great organizations out there. I would love to get involved with some of them on education, on outreach, what they're doing for diversity, stay involved with that.
Yeah.
Something I'm really passionate about, and I think I'd be really happy. I'll probably end up in a project manager or something like that, I think, if I were to guess. but I don't know. We'll see. If anybody's hiring, there you go. I got my shout out.
There you go. At Aaron_Caston on Twitter if you want to send him a message or whatever. I mean, you've done great things with Idea, obviously, and Big Android BBQ sure got this Android community that we all enjoy and love being a part of. Got a lot of people really inspired and excited to get involved and learn about each other, which that's what good community is all about, and instrumental to it. I'm bummed that Ron, and I'm sure Flo, it's probably the same for you, but I know Ron and I have talked multiple years on this show about all right, we're definitely going next year. I think last year we all did that.
I was gonna say Aaron being on the show is our annual opportunity to not go to the Android barbecue.
And now we can't.
Well, I will say, Aaron, whatever you've done with the Big Android barbecue has helped sort of start these other community events, or make it popular for us Android folks to get together. So and now we have a ton of opportunities to do it every year.
Yeah.
And that was mission accomplished, right? And so once that started happening, there was really no way for us to. I mean, it costs a lot of money to do an event like, I mean, a lot of money.
Sure.
Oh, I know. I've done events. I relate to that. Ooh.
Yeah, and so once, as all volunteer team, once we started running into sponsors doing their own events and not sponsoring our event, and attendees going to other events, and attendance starting to come down, last year being an exception, because we had Google basically pumping us up the whole time, which was awesome. Thank you, Google. But once that started happening, the writing was kind of on the wall. We were going to run into a situation where suddenly we couldn't cover those bills, and then what do we do?
Yeah, right. Then the legacy ends in a
that.
completely different way, and not a way
the solution was increased ticket prices, but then that goes against what the original mission was, which was to keep it extremely low cost of access. So
and I think you've run into the biggest challenge of doing something that a lot of people love is that you got to know when to leave, and it's better to be the person who left the party at 12:30 at night as opposed to the person who's still there at 4 a.m. Cleaning up the messy room. Like you went out on top, and you went out having, solved the problem that you went out to, you set out to solve, and now figure out the next great thing. And that's great. So, and if anything, I think you see the results of what you worked on, just how great everyone talked about that event, and then seeing the spread of the community, and you're doing something right when your sponsors are following your lead. So good, That's a good one for the resume.
For sure.
Yeah, thank you. How to write that in the resume will be
it's a challenge.
Well, all you need to do is just link to this episode.
Yeah. Right.
And put like a little time code at the top and be like, if you really want to see what I've done, a summary.
I'm gonna compile all the wonderful sentiment I've been reading on the social networks recently. It's been awesome. It really has.
Well, fantastic.
Marlon, kindness that's out there. One of the things I said in my closing remarks is I think that our community is the best of humanity, and I really think they exhibit that on a regular basis.
Yeah, cool stuff.
Community is good too.
You're gonna land, but don't rush to it, because I would love to take a month off and just kind of figure things out on a slow and steady.
I could use some money though.
Yeah, I know there is the other side. All right,
anybody's hiring and wants it right now. I'm in. Let me just. It might take me a week to get the resume figured out.
There we go.
So.
All right, cool. Well, thanks for coming on, Aaron, but you are not going anywhere. We're going to talk all about, we've got a lot of hardware and stuff to dive into. But before we do, Ron, you've got things to say.
Yes, I want to thank CuriosityStream for sponsoring this episode of All About Android. And if you haven't heard about CuriosityStream is the world's first ad-free, non-fiction streaming service. It was actually founded by John Hendricks, the founder of the Discovery Channel, so that's he's got a history of quality there. CuriosityStream has over 1,500 titles, 600 hours of content, and over 50 hours of 4K content. So if you got one of those nice brand new 4K TVs, this is the place you want to go to get great content, to see how amazing it looks. CuriosityStream is available in 196 countries worldwide, and they're on many, many platforms, many that we all use here. They've got a web app. They're on Roku. They're on Android. They have an iOS app if you want that. They got Chromecast. They're on Chromecast enabled. They've got it available on the Amazon Fire and the Apple TV. Got a wide variety of science and technology content, as well as nature, history, and many more topics. And in addition to documentaries, they have interviews and lectures. Their vast library includes some awesome stuff like Stephen Hawking's Favorite Places, a brand new exclusive documentary where Stephen Hawking pilots a fantastical CGI spaceship across the universe, making stops at Saturn and many of his favorite destinations. Just think about that. That's got to be amazing. I want to watch that. They got another series called Digits, a groundbreaking 3-part series hosted by Derek Muller, creator of YouTube science channel Veritasium, which explores online safety and security. The series features never before seen interviews with Edward Snowden, who we all know about, the former NSA contractor, and very popular whistleblower, and the co-founder of the internet, Vint Cerf, who, and if you've never seen Vint Cerf speak, watching the episode of Digits is worth it, because Vint Cerf is an amazing, amazing man, and it's great to hear his point of view, and that's definitely one to check out. They also have another series called Deep Time History, which is an exclusive 3-part original documentary series that tells the story of the universe's 14 billion year history. They've also got Underwater Wonders of the National Parks. This one's in celebration of the National Park Service's centennial year, this exclusive 7-part series takes you on a journey below the bodies of water within America's national parks. That sounds amazing. So they've got monthly and annual plans available, with annual plans offering notable savings. Those plans start at just $2.99 a month, which is less than a cup of coffee or the cost of one title on a competing on-demand platform. So it's totally worth your money to check out CuriosityStream. They've got great content at an affordable price. So check them out at curiositystream.com/twit. And use the promo code TWIT during sign up to get unlimited access to the world's top documentaries and nonfiction series completely free for the first 60 days. So take the risk. 60 days, totally free. Enjoy it. That's 2 months of one of the largest nonfiction 4K libraries in the world. Just go to curiositystream.com/twit and use offer code TWIT at sign up. And we thank them for their support. And immediately after the show, I'm going to go watch that Digit series because that sounds awesome.
I just signed up. No joke. Like that stuff looks awesome. I just signed up.
There you go. There it is.
curiositystream.com/twit. All right, it's time for some hardware. You were at the LeEco event.
Yes, so it's LeEco, and Le means happy in Mandarin, and Eco stands for ecosystem, which is exactly what LeEco is trying to sell us on.
The Mandarin ecosystem.
Yeah,
so it's not a French company?
Absolutely not French. No, nothing French about it. I mean, maybe someone's married to a French chick or a French man somewhere in there, but it's not French.
The name began because the founder was married to some French chick.
But I am not tired. We'll take a nap. Fire the missiles! Thank you, Brian. I heard him say it back there. So last week, LeEco had a beautiful event here in San Francisco. They actually had the event at the Palace of Fine Arts, which I've never been to until last week, and it was gorgeous. The event, however, was a little, the message wasn't really happening.
It was over the top. The announcement seemed over the top.
It was really over the top. It seemed more like a CES sort of keynote kind of thing. And they just kept doing one more thing without really going into an explanation of what those one more things were. Now, LeEco announced a bunch of stuff last week that they are bringing to the United States, including televisions and bikes. Smart bicycles
with Android
built in, and the cloud, as well as, of course, maybe you all know the Faraday Future, the car.
Yeah,
right?
the LeC, I believe, right?
Yes, it's a Tesla knockoff. Let's just put it that way.
Oh, that's
I hate
hard.
saying that. I know I shouldn't, but that's
But it's like a technology company that just surprised everyone with their self-driving car. I thought it was kind of impressive.
I guess
they just kind of like, hey, check out this car we made.
I think and I apologize because I'm totally distilling the message because this whole event was wacky.
Yeah.
I mean it was just
huge.
really wacky. It was huge. It was wacky. There's only one woman on stage, and she came out number 7, by the way, which I found to be very unfortunate. But you know what? Let's talk about the phones. We don't need to talk about cars and trucks and planes and whatever.
Unless the cars are running Android.
But yeah, they're not. I mean, I don't know what they're running at this point. So the phones that they announced last week were the Le S3 and the Le Pro 3. So the Le S3. I just don't really know how to pronounce these.
I know.
I'm just gonna
Le S3.
The Le S3 is the mid-range variant. It actually has been announced already, but it's coming to the U.S. It's got a Snapdragon 652 processor, 5.5-inch Full HD display, 3 gigs of RAM, 32 gigabytes of storage, and an aluminum body. And I will say this phone reminds me very much of sort of an enlarged iPhone SE.
Okay.
So if you've held that phone, it feels a little boxy, very aluminum-y, and that's kind of what it feels like.
Okay.
And then the Le Pro 3 is the flagship. That's the new guy, the new cool hot stuff. That's got a Snapdragon 821 5.5-inch Full HD display, 4,070 milliamp battery, which is pretty dang impressive considering that one of the largest batteries we have right now is a 3,600 milliamp in the S7 Edge. It's also got 64 gigs of storage as well as an aluminum body. It's a really nice phone, but it's kind of a carbon. You know, when you drive by planned communities, you know,
and all the
Bay
houses look
Area
the
and all the
same.
houses look the same.
Yeah.
It's essentially what the Le Pro 3 is. Like, it reminds me of a really beautiful track home. That's what they're
Little
called, right?
box.
So it's like a McMansion of a phone.
Yeah, it's a beautiful, you know, suburban McMansion with like brand new hardwood and really nice like granite, but you know,
but no character.
Looks like
No individual.
no individuality. Like the next house looks exactly like that.
Right.
Mine's bigger though.
At least that's how I. Anyway, that's how I described it in my mind. I just felt like, oh, I've seen this before, just like I do on the highway. So
So wrong.
it's not particularly like there's nothing particularly engaging about it. It's not like breathtaking. It's not like the Note 7.
So
RIP. The thing, so sorry, but the thing that is really the selling point of it is that it comes with a crap ton of content. Now, the stickler, it's the ecosystem, right? And that comes through the Eco Pass. And that is a thing that you will get for free the first 3 months as sort of a trial. And then after that, you have to pay for it. Now, I wrote a little opinion piece about it, Android Central, if you want to go read it, just to get more in depth into what it is that they're offering. But I'm just going to tell you guys this. Do you remember a couple weeks ago when I brought Pluto TV onto the App Arena?
I remember that.
It's
it
basically,
won, I believe, did it?
It did win, but that's free. This you have to pay for monthly after your trial is up. Now, you do get like 5 terabytes of cloud storage, and you get like this incredible warranty. So you can basically just like drunkenly throw your phone all the time and get a new one. Just kidding. Don't do that. But sorry, I was really reaching for it with that one. But, you know, they haven't announced any pricing on that. The hardware isn't exceptionally compelling to the point where I'm like, I have to have that phone. Like, there's just nothing inherently compelling about it. And I would like some time with the phone to see if the content that it offers is actually worth it. Because they were talking about, you got the Vice Media, you got the MGM, I'm trying to remember, Lionsgate, and like all these different studios. And so I want to know if that's interesting to me.
Was the over-the-top announcement, like, was it justified, do you think? Like obviously, LeEco really, I mean, did this because they want to make a splash in the U.S. They want the U.S. as their next, or one of their next big markets. I mean, do you see that happening, or do they just kind of end up in the bucket of yet another mid-range device?
That was an
maker?
emphatic no.
I know.
No, because they came on like talking smack about we're not doing what Samsung and we're doing what Samsung and Apple and Google haven't been able to do, and I just think that's ludicrous.
But what is that? Like, what are they doing that Apple? I mean, you know, I think it's really bold of them to come out and not just a phone, but have a platform and all that sort of stuff. But is that what they think is what makes them special? I mean, how do you even get these phones?
You buy them at the Le Mall.
It
No, I'm
sounds
not
like
kidding. It's called the Le Mall.
By
the way, if you want those 3 months free of the Eco Pass, you are going to want to buy it from the Le Mall. I'm not entirely sure if you will get the Eco Pass. Like, let's say if you go to Best Buy.
Where is the Le Mall?
It's online. It's on the internet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So.
I thought they were building brick and mortar Le Malls.
I know,
that we could go
the Le
to.
Strip Mall. Yeah,
I was excited. Finally, Ron and I could have our Mallrats moment. I think we'd make a really good Mallrats crew. But anyway.
Aaron, you were going to say something. What were you going to say?
Oh, I was going to say maybe what they're doing different from Google, Apple, and Samsung is not having a plan. Just like, you know.
Just having a big announcement. That's our plan.
Like, hey!
This is big enough to get people excited.
They had success in China. So Xiaomi has also had incredible success in China. And I use them as an example because when I think about it, they were one of the first OEMs from China that came over here before even Huawei and were like, hey, we're doing it. We want to come here. And then, of course, nothing really happened.
Yeah, they
were
haven't
just
been able to
selling
do that so
headphones.
hot, at least not with the phones.
Yeah,
Which
absolutely.
they haven't done yet. Well, I'm sure we'll see it eventually. But
yeah, eventually. But then, you know, what works overseas doesn't work here. And here our market is so driven by the carriers. And I know it drives those of us diehard Android users nuts, but that's just the reality of the situation.
Yes, it is.
You know, and when I said that they can't really compete with the Apple and the Samsung and the Google. I say that because of brand recognition.
Yeah.
Like Apple, Microsoft, Google, Samsung, they're the 4 big names, household names in the United States. How are you going to compete with that when it's already so well established?
Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
You know, it took car companies that came from overseas like a long time for them to sort of like get their branding, and that was with a lot of aggressive marketing. So I'd want to see LeEco put their money where their mouth is. Like, how much marketing are we going to get from this? Are we going to get ads like Google has on, Hulu and everywhere else I'm watching TV online?
I doubt it.
Right?
I doubt it. Yeah.
So, and part of the thing that sort of like grinds my gears, since I'm on my soapbox here, apologies. I have been on a bit of a soapbox for the last couple minutes, but the thing that sort of grinds my gears is this idea that you can just come here, put on a flashy show as a manufacturer and expect that it'll resonate with consumers. I find that to be incredibly offensive because I'm not a like must spend my money on the next cool thing. Like that's not the kind of consumer I am.
Samsung's made that mistake a few times.
They did. They did.
Sounds like they should have come to the barbecue. Embrace the
LeEco.
community. Yeah.
That's a great point, Aaron.
Barbecue.
They're not like, I don't know what their ties are with the Android community. At the very least, like Xiaomi has their very established Android community overseas, and so that gives them some legitimacy. I don't know about LeEco's ecosystem. In fact, the first time I heard about them was when I met them at CES earlier this year. Yeah. So it's
All right.
Dang, Brian made that quick.
You know what grinds my gears? Ron, you got the next one. Speaking of Xiaomi.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, speaking of Xiaomi and another Chinese company that's trying to make their ways into the great United States, Xiaomi actually held an event in China, so Flo was unable to sit in the audience and get angry at them. They unveiled a couple of new devices. The first one is the curiously named Xiaomi Note 2. I would have stayed away from the word Note. That's just me, marketing. I don't know. But the Xiaomi Note 2, it's a 5.7-inch OLED edge display with 22 megapixel camera, 8 megapixel front facing, Snapdragon 821, up to 6 gig of RAM, big old battery, over 4,000 milliamp battery. 37 global bands, meaning it could be much more US compatible, which is key to Xiaomi coming over. I know, think about that. And it's going to run about $400 for the 4 gig, 64 gig model, 4 gig memory, 64 gig storage, or $500 for the 6 gig, 128 gig model. And it's very, very similar looking to the Samsung Galaxy Note 7 Edge. So who knows if that will confuse customers and think they're buying a Xiaomi, get a Samsung, etc. They also announced the Mi Mix, which is a 6.4-inch concept phone designed by Philippe Starck, who's the dude who also designed Steve Jobs' yacht. Mm-hmm. So that's interesting. I don't know if we have a photo of this, Brian. We could show this up. This is a ceramic body bezel-less front panel with curved corners phone. It's got top-mounted sensors. The top-mounted sensors are removed to make room for the bezel-less design. And therefore, the front-facing camera has been moved to the bottom of the phone, which is something I don't think we see very often at all. No. It's got proximity sensor using ultrasound and piezoelectric speaker to replace the earpiece. I don't know if I pronounced that right.
Piezoelectric, which is kind of like bone conduction sort of thing.
Yeah. And it's running on a Snapdragon 821. It's got 4 gig of RAM, 120 gig of storage, dual SIM, high-res audio DAC chip, 4,400 milliamp battery, 16 megapixel rear-facing camera, headphone jack intact for now, as they said. And it's available on November 4th in China and is going to be very limited. So what do you make of this phone?
It looks like the phone from Westworld.
How do they?
It does. It looks cool. I like it.
What's that, Aaron?
I kind of dig it too.
Yeah.
I said, how do they hold it?
Well, that's what I'm wondering. If the
palm is on the screen right there.
Yeah, the challenge with the bezel-less design is does it have good touch rejection for unintentional kind of touching of the screen? I don't know how they do that.
And is turning your phone upside down to take a picture, isn't that just like, I mean, why not just put the camera on the top and no bezel at the bottom? Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
Well, actually, they made it so that you can put it upside down, like basically.
Right, but then it's just the top at that point. isn't it? I mean, if the screen
then you
rotates
get-
any direction and you turn it upside down, you've just made the bottom the top. They could have just made the bottom to the top to begin with.
Yeah.
You get an app that's a special launcher that always makes the bottom the top, and then it just kills the whole point of the design. And
I like.
Then Philippe Stark is like, no, that is not how I intended.
Is he related to Tony?
Very well could be with that kind of design, attention to design as possible.
I want to see.
I
a
like it,
picture
though.
of
It looks
this
awesome.
yacht.
I believe.
I'm gonna look it up.
Oh no, I've got a link.
Oh,
The
you
third
do?
link. Third link is a Cult of Mac article that shows. Oh no, never mind. I thought I put it in there. Apparently, I did not. It looks like a yacht.
let's not celebrate the great tech yacht wars of the 90s, the Steve Jobs, Larry Ellison yacht battles.
Here it is. I'm putting it in. It's the fourth link now. Go ahead and yacht away. Yacht to your
Let's
heart's
just get
content.
a quick glimpse at this, okay? And then we can
we need some yacht rock to play while we're looking at it.
What is yacht rock?
I don't know, but I
Oh,
kind of feel like
it's
I know
glorious.
without knowing. There it is.
I'm not impressed with the yacht. I like the phone better than the yacht.
Yes, but he designed.
Well, I
the
want to
yacht
know
for
what
Steve
makes them think
Jobs.
a designer of a yacht could design a phone. I think that's fascinating.
Well, it was Steve
know,
Jobs' yacht, so maybe they were
Jobs
thinking.
is, yeah, maybe that's what it is. Yeah. But
6 years of design and construction for this yacht. Just saying.
Flo, to answer your question, yacht rock is like Kenny Loggins, Hall & Oates, Journey. You know, like that's Toto.
So
I like
stuff,
yacht rock,
the stuff
then.
that I hear, I totally busted out Toto
Cri-
at the wedding.
Christopher Cross. Yeah.
Sailing, take me away.
The Doobie Brothers, some early Van Halen.
I thought you were going to say Doogie Howser. I was like, I like that song too.
Anyway, all right, let's move on from the odd.
Okay. All right. Hey, we've got one other
people,
thing to
man.
do before we devolve any further. BlackBerry released its follow-up to the DTEK50. They called it the DTEK60.
Whoa. Woo. That came out
Made
of
by
nowhere.
Chinese manufacturer TCL because, as we know, BlackBerry has announced it's not making its own hardware anymore. So basically, it's focusing, really doubling down on the software.
You go, girl.
The device here is 5.5-inch QHD display, 4 gigs of RAM, 32 gig storage, 3,000 milliamp hour battery, 21 megapixel rear-facing camera, fingerprint sensor, of course. Like I said, emphasis on the security features and the software of the BlackBerry, but it launches with Android 6.0.1 Marshmallow. No plans at the moment for Nougat, but I'm sure that's coming at some point. $499. Is this a good strategy for BlackBerry? I mean, well, nothing else was working, so I guess they've got nothing to lose. But Aaron, what do you think? Is this a good strategy for BlackBerry?
I have one word:
Yes.
cyanogen.
You want BlackBerry to make a deal with Cyanogen to put Cyanogen?
No, I think you can look at what happened to cyanogen on if this
so
custom
the opposite.
Android security thing is going to work out as because that's basically what
Yeah,
they're doing, right?
that is what they're
This
doing,
was exactly
exactly.
what cyanogen was trying to do, sort of, and just kind of. I mean, what happened there?
Yeah. Well,
It didn't work out.
there's
very
this
well.
perception that I mean, obviously security is top of mind for a lot of people. There's this perception that is going to translate into a subcategory of devices that are so hyper focused on security that they're going to move a ton of units based on that fact alone. And time again, it really seems like that doesn't pan out. People apparently don't care as much about security as manufacturers think they do.
If BlackBerry can do it, why can't Google or Apple?
Right.
Why do you need another third party to do it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I
That would
think
be nice.
it's a big risk, and I don't own any BlackBerry stock anymore. That's what I would say.
Probably smart.
I'm kind of negative on here sometimes.
Jeez. Thanks a lot.
Just
Aaron.
honest. The truth hurts. Sorry.
Truth-
Sorry, BlackBerry.
Honesty.
Maybe you should serve on a jury while you have these next months off.
Yeah, no, I never get selected. They're always like, that guy. No.
Yeah,
get him
you
outta
want to
here.
enjoy your month off. You don't want to sit on a jury. I don't think that's very enjoyable. But I guess everybody has different standards of what's enjoyable.
I would gladly do it. I would sign it in a minute. Just let me in. I want in the courtroom.
Okay,
I've watched-
pipe down, Pauly Shore.
Only for a
I've
murderer in Hawaii.
I'm
I've
sorry.
watched way
Oh, there we go. That would be nice. That's the way.
I've
to do
watched way too much episodes of The Good Wife to not want to go into the courtroom. So
I would love to see
Life is
Ron
not
in
like
the
TV,
courtroom.
Ron. Real life is
One
not
of-
like TV.
One can hope.
Okay, all right, fine. As long as you can hope. All right, we've got an email from Chris who writes in and says, "Hey, AAA, I received my Pixel XL from Verizon yesterday and immediately went to go check out chargers to buy. However, it appears as though it's not compatible with Quick Charge 2.0 or Quick Charge 3.0, which is true. Do you have any recommendations on what chargers or cords to get for the new Pixels?" The new Pixel, Chris, supports USB-C as its power delivery method for charging. So it's not Quick Charge 2 or 3.0 capable, which can be kind of confusing because I feel like when it comes to fast charging, rapid charging, quick charging, whatever they're calling it, like you just kind of assume they're all running the same technology and that power brick that you have that fast charged your Nexus 6 is going to, fast charge everything else. And it just doesn't work like that.
To be fair, most people also don't have like 7 phones. They're swapping with different adapters,
true.
so they don't have to worry as much.
That's true. Yeah.
Well, and those other chargers will still charge the device.
Precisely,
just
not as
not
fast.
quickly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not quickly. Exactly.
Which shouldn't the purpose of these phones to get you until like you're going to bed and then you just charge it overnight, so it's irrelevant how quickly it charges, and then you wake up and you use it all day until you're going to bed again.
Aaron is just hit it on the nose.
Yeah.
Really, that's how
Really.
phones should function.
Yeah. So what do I need a quick charger for?
Because I'd rather
Because they
have it
don't
than
work
not.
that way.
Yeah, well, yeah,
Well, if you
exactly.
s-
They don't.
If you stay tuned to the arena, I might have something to say about that.
Oh, brother.
Oh, don't make me go on. Don't make
That's
me
what
go
they
on.
call. That's what they call a tease in the business.
Ron's going to sell you some snake oil in the arena today. Just kidding. So Android Central did a breakdown of car chargers for the Google Pixel. So definitely check that out if you want to, because I find that to be a really great use of fast charging, to be honest.
Yes, agreed.
If I'm driving between, I'm going 10, 15 minutes, if I've got fast charge in the car,
Yeah.
that can bring my device back to, give me 8 hours in that 15 minutes. And I'm already going to, I'm just going to be
8
driving
hours.
anyways.
What kind of utopian ideal are you living in? Sorry.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, that would alleviate some battery anxiety if that's a thing. It is for
Yeah.
electric. So I guess you can't.
I know. I'm mad at my 6P because it just
Well, yeah,
went
your
down,
6P's haunted or something.
I
I'm
think
not
it
really quite
is.
sure.
It is. You need to bury it. You need to burn it and then bury it when you get the Pixel.
I actually, when I get the Pixel, I think I'm gonna look up like how to do like a seance or something. I don't know. I have Sage at
Yes.
home. I think I just need to like burn it and just cleanse it.
By the way, Fandroid did a roundup of all sorts of
Yes.
accessories. Check that out as well. Google sells their own actual charging, brick / cable for this particular phone. It's a little expensive there, I think.
Hopefully, it's
I
better than the ones
know.
that came with the 6P. My cable and and the charger both went bad. Like
Really?
within them. Yeah.
Man, you guys are just. Thanks for being so
Android's the
chipper
best.
today. I love Android.
It's so good. I do love Android
It's
still,
my
though.
favorite platform for so many reasons. Okay, so we're going to thank sponsor. Well, it's true. You've got a stack of Androids in the background ready to attack you, I'm assuming.
I think.
Let's thank the sponsor before we jump into Florence's hardware shack.
Dang, I kind of like that.
Yeah. This episode of All About Android is brought to you by Grasshopper. Grasshopper is a virtual phone system designed for entrepreneurs. Grasshopper works just like a traditional phone system, but it requires no hardware purchase or software installation because you've already got the hardware. It's your phone. With their iOS and Android app, callers can reach you wherever you are on the phone you already have. Grasshopper allows you to keep your existing number so you can maintain your brand. That's kind of the big overarching feature here is kind of moving your brand and making it more accessible to people who want to get in touch with you in kind of a more of a business-like fashion. When you make a call, your client's going to see your Grasshopper caller ID instead of your personal phone number. You can simply select a toll-free or local number. You'll record a custom greeting and then add multiple extensions for your business. It's all done virtually through the app. Toll-free numbers, obviously, are awesome for marketing. It makes your business sound more professional. You can set up department and employee extensions with custom call forwarding to any phone in the world. You'll get voicemails emailed to you as audio attachments. You can also send and receive SMS text messages from your business number using your phone. Join the over 250,000 Grasshopper customers today. Plans start at just $12 a month. You have a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have no reason not to check it out and see how it works for you. Turn your smartphone into a business line with Grasshopper. To save $50 on your order, go to trygrasshopper.com/twit. That's trygrasshopper.com/twit. And we thank Grasshopper for their support. All right, Brian, I know that you prepared a bumper for Florence's Hardware Shack, so play it. I'm just kidding.
Brian, I got all happy.
I wish I had thought to do that in advance. Instead, I just threw Brian under the bus. I'm sorry, man.
Sorry, I'll come up with something later.
All right, Flo, what you got?
Well, so first up, I know we keep talking about this darn thing.
We do, the LG V20.
The LG V20. So listen, we're not going to spend that much time on it because Android Central, we did put up Andrew just put up his review today, so you can go read that if you like. And I apologize, I keep clicking on my screen. There we go. My darn text edit. So the V20, just to give you a little refresher of these specs on the inside, 5.7-inch Quad HD IPS display with 515 pixels per inch. It's also got a 2.1-inch secondary display, which displays at 1040 by 160, if you'd really like to know. Inside it has a Snapdragon 820, 4 gigs of RAM, 64 gigs of storage, expansion slot, removable battery, which is 3200 milliamp. And then on the back, it's got dual 16 megapixel camera with 8 megapixel wide angle camera. On the front, it's a 5 megapixel.
I really like the wide angle camera on the LG V20.
I do too. So a couple of little things. So this week, what I'm doing with this phone right now is I'm playing with the camera features, and I'm going to see if they're as good as the V10s, because I really enjoyed the V10. I had a lot of fun with it at Thanksgiving last year, and I took some really beautiful shots with this phone. But I want to see if LG still got it in them to make a nice little content creator phone. Nice thing about this phone, it's very thin. And by the way, look at this giant Verizon emblem on the back.
Goodness, Verizon can't help themselves.
And let me tell you, y'all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I forgot what I was gonna say. No, actually, I realized what I was gonna say. Has no validation to it, so I shouldn't say it. I should practice. I should practice that. Anyway.
Restraint.
Yes. So this is a giant logo, but anyway,
Verizon's good at doing that.
Yeah, this is
at least they didn't put it on the front.
This is a really nice phone, guys. Honestly, in my opinion, this is what the G5 should have been. LG shouldn't have even wasted time with the G5 at this point, especially now that they're killing the mods for it. What is even the point?
Yeah, no kidding.
This is nice.
Maybe they learned that this is their flagship going forward.
So disappointing.
And look, you don't have to do any weird taking out the battery to pop in your
love
modules.
this feature.
Just take off
Look
the
at
back,
that.
Yeah,
pop in what you need, pop it back on.
It feels very hot swappy, anyways, with the little button, the button ejector on the side that just pops.
This ejector, by the way,
thing
way
off.
easier to use than on the G5. And I'm telling you, this is a woman who paints her nails a lot, even though they're chipping right now. Apologies.
How's the software experience?
Software experience
that was always my issue
is
with
get a launcher. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you.
Yeah. All right, so
there's no
I'll
app
stick
drawer,
with Action
so
Launcher.
Yeah,
everything is. I mean, this is ugly. That's my opinion, BT Dubs, but this is ugly.
Mm-hmm.
I find
I support your opinion.
I mean, maybe I shouldn't be so harsh. This is not appealing to my eye. If I opened this as a user, I would be like, oh, I'm overwhelmed. Look at all those icons. And this is exactly why I am not an iOS user. Mm-hmm. So that's the V20. I will have a full write-up.
This is the release to everyone version. This is the actual
release. This is the United States of America V20. Not the South Korean version.
I like the second display up top. I just find that the notifications that appear there are just always so small that I can't read them.
Yeah, I agree.
And so that's kind of a little bit useless.
Agree.
But I like the quick toggles up there, the launch, that sort of stuff. It's kind of nice up there.
Mine says Flow Ion, so you always know it's my phone.
Mm-hmm.
Which is nice.
Cool. What else you got?
So, this is what I'm working on right now. As reviews go.
Yes.
So this is the Axon 7 Mini.
Oh, it's a mini version.
It's really nice.
Looks kind of large for a mini.
Yeah, it's still a 5.2-inch Full HD AMOLED display.
So
let's go through the specs real quick. On the inside, Snapdragon 617, so you are looking at a mid-ranger. And I'm going to tell you right now, it can be a little mid-rangey sometimes.
Okay.
Especially with the snaps. It's also got 3 gigs of RAM, 32 gigs of storage, expansion slot, 16 megapixel rear-facing camera, 8 megapixel front-facing camera. Awesome Dolby stereo speakers. Holy crap. This thing is so... I was rocking out to this last night. I was dancing with my cat. If you looked at my Snap... Oops, sorry about that. I hit the mic. If you're looking at my Snapchat. Fingerprint sensor on the back. The only bummer is it's Android 6.0.1, which is like... bleh. Come
You're
on,
spoiled.
guys.
You're spoiled with the nougat.
I'm spoiled. So this is actually the case that's on it right now is the case that came inside my Axon box, which is really nice.
Oh, that's nice.
And
Yeah,
actually,
I
I regret not bringing the box with me because I want to tell you guys. So first of all, let's look at this real quick. Look how really pretty and gold this is. This feels really nice. If I scratch it, you can hear. It's like legitimate aluminum. Not that nothing else
like a
is,
layer. Or
yeah, it's really nice. It feels really solid. It's a very solid phone. Beautiful speakers. I love this bezel. I love the way it looks. I really like the look of this phone and the whole experience when you take it out of the box. The way ZTE packaged it all up and put everything together, like it just makes you feel like you bought a really nice phone. And I think that's something that we're going to start seeing more and more from manufacturers as lower cost phones become the norm. If they
elevating the
elevating the
experience of meeting it for the first time or whatever.
Yeah, and I was like, wow, like
those first impressions.
Yeah, when I opened it, I was like, wow, ZTE, like you're making me feel really good about myself. As I'm like, I imagine if I had purchased this phone, I'd be like, oh, I made a good decision.
It's the self-esteem phone. They should market it that way.
I mean, it's nice and gold already. This is a really nice gold, by the way, guys.
That does look nice.
It really
I have a pop
is.
quiz for you guys.
Yes.
So, do you remember when the Evo 4G came out? It was like the giant Evo 4G. It's so big. Everybody hated it. How big do you think that phone screen was?
I'm going to make sure and not look at the screen because, as you said, Evo 4G, I do what I always do, and I put in a Google search, but I did not look. I'm going to say 4.5.
4.3-inch screen.
Jeez.
Wow.
Doesn't that seem so tiny now? Like,
yeah, and this
that's
is
a mini.
5.2, and it feels like... Which is funny because it's a mini.
It's a mini compared to
exactly.
the full-size ZTE Axon, which is a 5.7, I believe.
And by the way, this phone retails for, I want to say, about $320 USD.
Yeah.
It's just crazy how far, like, how things have changed. Because I just remember everybody, it's too big. It's so huge. And now here we are.
It's $300 at B&H Photo and Best Buy.
I mean, I was going through. I'm sprucing up my cubicle here, my little office area with all of my old devices and everything. So I went home and went through my boxes and found all my old Android devices. And I mean, it's a trip going from what we've gotten used to over the years now to where it all began with, like the Motorola Droid. And I mean, they're just so tiny. They're like little tiny toys.
Oh my gosh, the HTC Incredible was my best friend for so many years.
My desk clock.
Nice. The Motorola Droid.
Oh, wow. I remember the
Droid. That is a
that's a collector. Yeah,
item.
that's a collector's item, dude.
That's why it's my desk clock. It just stays there.
You should buy like backup batteries for that or whatever. And like
it's usually just sitting on the charger, but for some reason somebody was playing with it the other day and it turned off, and so I just got to turn it back on.
That is cool.
It still works though.
Very cool.
So yeah, that was my hardware. That's what I brought to the hardware shack.
Awesome.
Although, Brian, if you do ever make a little bumper, make sure it goes, Hardware Shack, it's a little place where... Hey, come on now.
Welcome to Flo's Android Shack. See what she hates, see what she likes, and you may not go home.
It's just like a shack in the middle of Petaluma, like...
Did you just search Android Shack or...
Chickens milling about.
Oh, that was great, Brian.
Actually, I would love it, Brian, if we could put a goat there, just FYI. Tie a goat, make sure the lawn is nice.
Yeah.
Keep
No,
it
you know what?
luxury.
You know what?
Do not encourage Mateo anymore with the goats, please.
Mateo's going to be here next week. He's literally going to be in studio next week. So
Wait a
maybe
minute.
Mateo
He's
can
gonna
help.
be in...
Yeah.
Wait, was he in studio when Ron was here? No, Ron, it was just the three of us. Oh, okay.
Well,
Yeah, last time he was there, I was here. But
Yeah, okay. Sorry, I thought I was.
So next week is shaping up to be a pretty crazy episode. I'm sure Mateo can help us with our goat needs.
And it's the day after Halloween, so.
I thought about inviting him over to sit in on the show tonight, but I was like, no, it's my time. It's my time.
My time down here, yeah.
Tune in next week if you want to see a goat in front of the shack.
At the goat shack. Ryan, we've got an email from, I think I recognize this name.
I was just
do
saying,
too.
it's a familiar viewer of the show from Frederic writes in and asks, can I remove the Google widget, the date, from the home screen? I'd like to put my own weather/time widget, but I don't think that's possible.
So Frederic is a Twit employee, but by the way,
Yes.
for most people who do not, have never heard her name before.
I wasn't sure if we were gonna expose that, but there you are. Some internal discussion here amongst Twit employees to find out how do you get rid of the date from a home screen. And Frederic's instinct that thinking that it's not possible is correct. Really, all you can do is replace the launcher to do that at this moment, unfortunately. And Action Launcher 3 has some of the Pixel launcher looking options that you can customize from there, but beyond that, you're kind of SOL.
Sorry, Frederic.
Right?
See you tomorrow at work.
We tried to do this on the new screensavers on Saturday, and
Tried to remove the widget?
Well, Leo said he tried to remove it and he couldn't.
Yeah,
And when
there's nothing
I
you can do
learned
with
that, because my Pixel's taking forever to get here, I was a little. I mean,
this
there it
is
is.
Action Launcher, so I was just gonna. It's not focusing.
wait, you're
well, but-
using Action Launcher?
Yeah.
And
But
so
I
you
was just
made-
going to show the Google pill can be put on the screen, but I don't use it.
Oh. But see, the bummer is that you can't even put widgets in between it or anything, because it's like a one bar widget, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just takes you to the weather. But it's all branding, right? Hello, it's the Google phone.
Yeah, you can't do anything with that. Well, we tried.
Well, at least you'll always know the weather and have quick access to talk to Google.
Yeah, I mean, it's what makes the launcher special is that weather widget.
It's that some people want that. Yeah. So.
Hey, it's about that time to hop into the arena.
So many enter, but only one lives. Android Arena.
Last week's poll, bit.ly/AAA vote 288, we had apps. They were Dingless, Jimprovise, Stokard, and Trip Tracker. And Stokard, another win for the guest.
Amazing. The
guest
guest is running away with it.
I mean,
I promise I will up
the
my
year of the
game.
guest.
Oh my gosh, I've been so off my game,
not
y'all.
after this.
Think you
After
guys
this
got a
That's
week.
like my worst performing app. This is my worst. I have failed you all.
It's okay. It's hard. Look, coming up with awesome apps every single week is not easy. I know we say that a lot.
When are we
but
going
it
to start
gets
calling
more
this
and more
the
difficult.
Android app death
Shack.
match, by the way?
App Shack.
No, the death match, like
Oh.
celebrity death match, and we'll have claymation Android phones fighting each other.
Because that's a relevant current pop culture reference from 2002.
Oh my gosh, there's children who don't know about celebrity death match. You're right.
I think you
let's
guys
bring
got
it
a good chance this week.
Well, there's a lot of pressure on you to perform.
It's true.
I would say. So,
If you
okay,
like money, listen at home. If you like money, pick my app.
all right, we will get to you in a second. All right, buddy, don't just trounce in there and get your show going already. We're not there yet. Stokard 52% walked away with it by all accounts. That's more than half the votes because I'm good at math. Dingless 28%, second place. That was mine. Trip Tracker was third place with 11%. That's you, Ron. And Jimprovise, fourth place with 8%.
That means Flo goes first.
That Flo
Yeah.
goes first. Wow. Yep.
Let me grab my other phone. Hold on.
Yep.
Okay, hold on. Somebody slacked me. Okay, quit slacking me while I'm on the show. people.
Remove those things from the
Louise.
home screen.
I have a personal Slack and people leave me messages, which is sweet, but not today. So guys, I'm one of those annoying wannabe cool millennials because I'm trying to stay relevant at my age. I have
Just let it go.
I have my own Bitmoji now, y'all. So Bitmoji is it used to be kind of an annoying thing on your Facebook that your friends would make little like comic strips of them and their other friends, and then you'd be like, why are you posting all these inside jokes on Facebook? Nobody cares. But now you can use the Bitmoji app, which Ron told me today, which I was not aware of, was acquired by Snapchat. And now you can make your own little Bitmoji personality and insert them into all of your messages. I'm going to
tell you something. I'm going to tell you something very sad about that acquisition when you're done talking about this.
Okay. All right. Yep. I talk a lot to my pals. I talk to them all day. You know, we like to send emoji and pictures and Giphies back and forth. And so Bitmoji's just become another part of my rotation, especially, guys, with Aloe. Because I found Aloe stickers kind of started to run out for me in terms of expressions. So now I just use Bitmoji, and they're kind of fun.
So wait, okay, I think the headline is you're using Aloe?
I am using Aloe.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yes. Eric and I use Aloe, like, exclusively to talk to one another because we like... You know, we always talk about like food. Okay, anyway, this is not about Aloe. This is about Bitmoji.
You're right.
So, Bitmoji, you get to create your little character, and this person kind of looks like me. I really tried to get her to look like me, but you can only do so much. And you can pick her out from different, or him out from different like scenarios. So there's like Lonely Island, if anybody remembers those SNL sketches, and X-Men Apocalypse. Did anybody watch that one? And
I did.
You did.
I watched.
Civil War, the Avengers Civil War. There I am. Talk to the hand. I'm Tony Stark, and I can take this Bitmoji. There we go. I'm afraid to do this on air, so I'm not going to do it. But you can choose from a variety of apps.
You can just send it right to the app, and then it'll import that image into...
Or you could just save it. And, you know, that's it. So it's a fun little Bitmoji. There's different tabs for, like, every different mood that you might need. I like to use this one, even though it is an iOS Bitmoji. Or any other... I use a lot from this page. Yes, I do. Because
is this the love page?
Yes. I love you. Give me some sugar. XOXO. See you soon.
Oh, I like the miss you. The lonely swing.
Look how cute this is. Oh, I'm gonna send this to Eric right now. Sorry, hold on 1 second. Sorry.
So the sad bit I'll tell you about that acquisition, and Brian, I put the link in the thing, is that Snapchat actually bought this company for more than $100 million cash.
Wow.
So think about that.
Think about all that cash.
Hey, my app's about money. Back off. No,
think about that.
So, I mean, you know, it's really easy to make $100 million. All you have to do is create an app, right? It's that easy.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, people talk about it on Muni all day and Bart.
Yeah. Bitmoji, one word, make your own emoji with personality. Stickers.
If you want. If not, it's fine. I get it.
We won't judge.
I understand. It's just me.
I think when I'm back in studio next week, I'm gonna make the All About Android bingo card, and it's gonna say Flo mentions Bart. Ron makes fun of Flo for being a millennial.
Flo mentions 90210.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right.
All right.
My turn.
Ron, it is your turn.
Is it
I have
my
your
turn
app
yet?
installed. I will show you.
Yes,
we'll show everyone
so
while you talk about it.
As we were talking earlier, batteries are an important part of our phones. And years and years ago in Android phones, there were tons of different battery meters and battery management apps and things like that. And we kind of laugh at them and scoff at them. And I know for years I've been using battery, what is the Battery Widget Reborn to monitor my battery life performance. But I discovered Hello Battery this week, and it is very impressive in terms of what it can do in terms of not only giving you control over your battery on your phone, but also the way your phone works with your battery and the way apps work with it, and identifying apps that are really causing battery drains, and being able to fix those. So when you open it up, you already see, as Jason there is playing along, it's got a very nice design. Of course, it's got a little material-y going on, but also unique stuff. If you go back to the main screen, actually, Jason, if you go back to Battery Saver, so when you get there, you see what your battery is at, and an estimate of how much time you have left. Okay. And then my only complaint about this app is that it's free, which is great, except that there are ads in it. There's no paid, get rid of the ads option, which is kind of annoying. So there's an ad right in the middle of the main screen, which I get that's how they're going to monetize it, but whatever. So say no on Prop 61. But if you scroll up,
is what the ad says.
Yeah, I know. If you scroll up, scroll back down. Sorry, you're moving too fast. Scroll back up slowly past Prop 61. Slowly. Okay, so you see some more functionality options of what you can do there. You can clean up junk, which isn't so much about your battery, but it's generally like to save data space, which a lot of apps do that. They clear and cache, things like that. But now this is where we get into the interesting stuff under the power protection. And here you see actually the capacity of your battery, the voltage, and the temperature. And what you can do is if you tap on power protection, what you're able to do is you're able to customize how you want it. You can turn on start protection, and what it will do, and it needs some accessibility options, but this is where it's going to monitor the apps that you're using and how much power they're using and how much battery drain they're taking from your app. And actually, I don't know if this is going to happen immediately, or you might need to use the phone a little longer. Right. Yeah, I think you do. Yeah. But like for me, on my side, I'm looking at my phone and I can see that, for example, Pokemon Go is draining at a rate of 0.009 milliamps. And so I know, okay, this one is draining, and this is a way you can look, is that app really draining battery more than other ones? And that's a good way of checking. But if you look at the very bottom of the app on the main menu, you got along the bottom, you got 4 options. You got charge, saver mode, ranking list, and the community. If you tap on charge, this is where you get even more control, not only as how much battery life is in your phone, but if you scroll up past the ad again, sorry, ignore that ad, fast clean. This is actually where you can customize how the app charges. How your phone charges. So there are three modes of charging stages: speed charging, continuous, and trickle. And what you can do is you can actually use this app to adjust it so that when your battery is lower than 20%, switch to charging until you get to the trickle charge function, or it's a way to minimize overcharging or undercharging your phone's battery, which can extend the battery's life, which is pretty impressive once you start playing with it. If you go back to the main menu as well, under saver mode down at the bottom, there's a couple of general things that you can do to save your battery, in terms of the top to make it prolong, to disable Wi-Fi, or just disable Bluetooth and that sort of thing. So there are different modes that you can easily adjust to. And if you hit smart mode on the top right, you can schedule those modes by time or by power levels. But then go back to the main. There's 2 other things that I thought was even more interesting. The ranking list, if you hit on the bottom, ranking list right there. This is where, and because you just installed this app, you won't see a lot. But when you get a lot of data, not only do you see the graph of how your battery life is going, but you see which apps are taking up more battery life. And this is also where you can stop apps from running in case they're taking up too much battery life. And go back, last one that I want to show, under community, if you sync with your Facebook account, you can actually see how you rank against your friends and the global community for battery life, which I thought was pretty funny. Which is, if a lot of people are using this, you can see of the other users that are using this app how well, if there are people getting more battery life than you are or not. So if you're really into batteries, this is a good way to dive in and get even more control over your battery and be able to hopefully extend the life of your battery, because we all know that is a major thing. What I liked about this was that when I plugged my phone in and when it was charging, there are a couple of different options where you can set a voice alert to say, hey, it's full, unplug it. Because as we know, if you leave your phone plugged in for a long time, that can be bad. And little things like that to really help you, extend that battery for as long as possible. So. All right, and it's important to know that the Facebook sync is optional. You do not need to log into Facebook to use it. You can use it not logging into Facebook. You just don't get the rankings of the world there. So you
don't get to compete with other battery fans.
Exactly. So hello battery saver. It's free with some annoying apps, some annoying ads. But if you look past the ads, it's actually pretty powerful. So.
All righty. Excellent. Hello battery. And Aaron, I've got your app installed. We'll see how far it lets me get in because I haven't gone through all of the setup and everything, but I'll put in some information while you talk about it. Just
use my referral code and create an account.
Yeah, I know. I've heard that actually. So tell me a little bit about your app. What's it called?
So it's called Wise Banyan. It's an investment app, kind of like Acorns. There's a bunch of other ones out there I've tried. I don't remember them all. There's no minimum on how much you put in. So
that's how much money I make. $5,555,550 a year.
That's nice.
A day.
Annual income. All right. Cool.
So what I like about it, it's one of those robot investors. I've got one of my IRAs in there, I think my SEP IRAs in there, and then just a test account. I opened up test accounts with a lot of these apps just to see how they performed. This one performed as good or better than almost all of them. It has no fees, which I liked. It has a wide variety of account types, which I really liked. You can put your Roth IRA in there if you want and let them manage it. And there's no charge for that, which with most normal brokers, you pay a fee for them to manage your IRA investments. And so I liked that was free, and I wanted to have them do it. You can set how aggressive you want to be. If you're under 45, I would say max that out, basically. Yep, there you go. Because you're young, you can absorb the risk.
You think I'm young?
Ish. So I like that. They just launched today, I believe, a new referral program. So if you refer somebody, it's $20 for them and $20 for you. They also have some cool premium features that you can pay for, which are like tax harvesting. So anytime you have a loss, they try and harvest that loss so you can write it off on your taxes and offset some of your gains later down the road. Yeah, that's pretty much what I love about it. It's outperformed everything except for Acorns did slightly outperform it, but Acorns charges a $1 monthly fee, and if you calculate it in that $1, because I don't have much money, that $1 actually impacted the percentage I was bringing in rather significantly, and so it was actually better to stick with Wise Banyan over Acorns. So I've actually just recently transferred everything over to Acorns. I mean, Wise Banyan, other way around. Yeah, transferred everything over to Wise Banyan and have been pleased. It's kind of a set it and forget it investment strategy, and so I like that one as kind of my, just do its own thing.
Excellent. It's called Wise Banyan, all one word, Wise Banyan.
Wise Banyan.
And apparently you have a link for people to sign up.
Yeah, it'd be difficult to give them the link, so don't worry about it. I mean, I'm not worried about the $20, but sign up. Tell them I recommended you. Maybe they'll give me the premium service for you. As I doubt it, but it's a good app, anyways. I recommend it regardless of any referral I am going to miss out on for referring it to all of you on this show. So enjoy it, make some money. The best way to get ahead is to have your money work for you. So
that is true.
Put it to work.
Put it to work for you. Awesome. Wise Banyan. My app is actually not an app. It's a game. It's $4.99. It's called Mini Metro.
Oh, I was really hoping it'd be like a new Metro app or something.
Well, no, but it's a game.
Kind of.
It's a game that I honestly would be really surprised, Flo, if this didn't become your favorite game in the world, because I know that you are a fan of public transportation.
Oh wow!
Oh my God!
This is right up her alley.
This is what I think it is.
So this is a game.
This is a Metro Sim.
Well, I mean, ish. So basically, here's how it works, and I don't even know if there's any music. So basically, these are all stations, right? I'm going to try and keep the reflection out.
Okay. So, Pittsburgh Bay Point.
So I can connect stations.
Oh, it's a yellow line too.
And then I can put a train on the station. Now this train is going to pick people up from that station. Different symbols. You see, that's a circle, and it drops it off at the circle. Then it picks up the triangle to drop it off at the triangle. If I was to connect to this, then the next time it goes there, it'll pick up those squares and it'll start to deliver them around. As you can see, different things appear. There's different stations, different colored lines that you can start to connect around.
And that is London too, by the way. That's the river, and yeah, wow.
Yep.
So I'm gonna go ahead and put that up there.
Transfer point.
And there's a I'm telling you, this
is
game
so
was,
exciting for
this
the
game was meant for
nerd.
Flo, as far as I'm concerned. So now I've got a train picking up here, going to the triangle, picking up the circle, go all the way over there.
Wait. What are the stories of the people on the train?
We don't know. That's
Do
up
they
to
have
your
$1 million
imagination.
apps?
This is all up to your imagination. Look, I just provide the game for you to play while you're on public transportation, about public transportation. And, I'm sure there's a really great strategy to playing this. I haven't played it enough to learn that strategy. I just keep connecting things. And then as you go along, you'll be awarded like another train that you can put on for really heavy, like stations that get backed
It's like Metro Tycoon.
It kind of is. You get bridges, so I had a bridge, so I was able to go over there, and you can see the times tick. Oh, I just got a new station out here. People are gonna start.
People in the east have been serviced,
and I don't know.
This is ridiculous.
We'll go ahead and put a new line out there.
It to the people in the east side of the city.
It's really cool. It's just a neat kind of I don't know.
So this was originally
a take Metro Maps and put it into a game.
This was originally a PC game that they ported to mobile. It's fascinating. It's like Railroad Tycoon, but for subways.
There we go. Now I've got that.
Nice sound
Okay, why
effect.
don't you let the people from the east go down further south? Help them.
Well, no. Now I got a locomotives, and which new asset would I like for my metro? Do I want a carriage so I can fit more people onto a train, or do I want a tunnel? That's
Two tunnels.
That's going to give me access to more places.
Like
if I need.
4
I guess
tunnels.
that's true.
And so as you go along, things just get more and more chaotic, right? New stations appear, tons of people lining up at the stations.
People start tweeting at you. Why are the trains so full at 4 o'clock?
Is there a
Talking about
mode?
their apps.
Is there a mode where there's a protest and they shut down a station?
Not that I've seen, but if you think that time's moving too slow, you can pull that down. You can fast forward, and there we go. We're fast forwarding to move along because maybe you want, maybe you're out of trains or whatever. I'm going to go ahead and put, which is a good one. Probably the red line is good to put another train on.
Why? The red, God,
See?
Of course you favor the red line.
See, I knew this would be
For all the
perfect for
affluent
Flo.
people.
Flo's going to be breaking all the records in Google Play games for this game. It's called Mini Metro, and it's basically gamifying Metro maps. And when I saw it, I was like, oh, I'm surprised Flo's never brought this into the arena.
Mateo was playing this during the barbecue.
It's fun.
Really?
It's cool.
Maybe I'll get some strategies from him then.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a little okay, so it's expensive, $4.99. I have no problem kicking down $5 for a great game, especially considering there's no in-app purchases, right? So you pay for it, you get everything you get.
They have
Berlin Google
too?
Rewards is paying for it.
Oh, they have
Hey,
the
well,
Berlin
there you go.
Metro?
That works.
Oh man, I'm totally downloading this right now.
It's a lot of fun. It's a cool game. So it's
Since I'm
Mini
going to have
Metro.
so much free time coming up.
Yeah, you might as well solve Mini Metro while you're at it.
See, but the question is Bart represented in the game, Jason?
Oh, I
Can you check actually, please, before we end the show? I just need to know this one thing before I spend
Your
$5.
obsession with that subpar excuse for a train system
That's
is
all
amazing.
I knew, Ron, growing up.
Well,
All I
there
knew
are a
is
lot.
that.
Okay, let's follow along on the map here. Let's see.
Okay, let's see.
All right.
See what we got.
Okay, so we got London,
London,
Paris,
Paris, obviously.
New York City,
Berlin.
Melbourne, Hong Kong, Osaka, St. Petersburg.
Yeah, theirs is great.
Montreal,
There it is.
San Francisco, there it is.
Unlocked score 500 on Montreal.
Yeah,
to
but
get San
SF,
Francisco.
that's Muni. That's Muni Metro.
Oh,
I don't think the nuances of the Bay Area transit systems is really going to go.
Yeah, there's no
apply on that
Caltrain
level.
or BART or ACE.
Where's the Samtrans? Dang it!
No
Samtrans
love
is just
for
a bus,
Dallas.
though. They don't have a metro. Okay, all about transit.
Yeah, see? I know.
Random fact: Dallas has, I think, the largest community rail line in the country, as far as like land coverage.
Oh wow.
Because everything's bigger in Texas. Everything's bigger in Texas.
Everything's
I know.
just far away.
I will tell you. One thing. I don't share Flo's love for the BART. In fact, I loathe it.
Well, you are from Long Island, so.
But I did grow up in New York,
Yes.
but I do have a wish dating back to high school to ride the entire New York subway line on just one fare, which is and apparently it's possible. It would take, I think the record is like 26 hours. Like you only swipe your MetroCard once, and you can't go to a station more than once. And somebody did it in 26 hours. So
that sounds fun.
Actually, Ron, I would love to come to New York and do that.
Sounds like a
Wouldn't that be a
party. Let's
blast?
do this.
I would bring snacks.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd have to.
Yeah, we were
You'd be
just
stuck on
I don't know. Wait,
trains.
but where would we go to the bathroom?
Oh,
What about internet?
This does not.
Oh yeah,
sound
there's
fun
no
either.
internet in the New York subway.
No, yes, there is now. Now there is.
Okay.
Yeah, they have Wi-Fi in the subway now. So
All right, let's do this.
And
Party.
even if
I'm
not,
in.
just bring a couple of devices, load a bunch of movies on them, and this doesn't sound fun. This is not.
it sounds like a
Get a
blast. I
group.
think it would be
You
amazing.
know how much
to ride the
people watching?
entire
Like,
subway
people
system.
watching is so fun. On the MTA.
that would get old at like 4 hours. You'd be like,
See, now the funny
"Ugh,
thing
got
is that
another-"
you could do this on BART in probably like a half a day, whereas New York
Not
it would
even.
take.
You can do it in like 4 hours
Yeah.
because there's only 4 lines.
Or you could just download this game and do it virtually, kind of.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sort of. Place your vote for your favorite app. Is it Bitmoji? Is it Hello Battery? Is it Wise Banyan for making you rich? Or is it Mini Metro? Go to bit.ly/AAA vote 289 and place your vote. Let us know which is your favorite. Yes, I got the Brian.
Dang it, Marlon.
Yeah, Marlon's down there.
I
There
got a
he's been-
0. Nobody cares about their money.
He's been playing Mini Metro all day and
Nobody
loving it.
has
says
money.
Marlon.
Yeah.
In order to
See?
make money, you got to
That's how
have
you
money.
get Wise Banyan.
You can't turn 0 into 1.
There are ways. There are ways. Finance, independent finance.
Sell stuff out of
just
my
You just need to
invest.
make a really good case. If you've got a good opportunity, you can make a good case to somebody who has money, and you can turn their money into more money, and you make some money also. So there, we'll talk. Aaron, thanks for coming on tonight, man. It's great
My
having
pleasure.
you on. Aaron.
Anytime.
What do you want? What are your final words? What do you want people to know? Find you the last time they will ever hear from you until the next time you're on.
Your final words, no pressure.
Final words. You're never going to have me back. Now that I am not doing the barbecue, it's over. I'm dead to the Android world.
We got what we need from you, Aaron. Of course we'll have you back. What
I don't know.
want
I mean, don't be afraid to take a leap. I wouldn't be sitting here right now having this conversation had I not pursued taking a risk to start this 7 years ago. So, if you think you've got a good idea, nobody's going to think it's better than you do. So if you're hoping somebody else is going to back you up on it, maybe take the first step on your own and run.
prove it.
Have you considered being a motivational speaker? Because I feel very motivated
I've
by
not
you
listening
right now.
to the rest of the show. I mean, yeah, no, that's not the connection at all.
I mean, yeah, I absolutely have not.
You could be the Shia LaBeouf of YouTube.
That's true. Do it. Always a pleasure, man. At Aaron_Caston on Twitter to find out what Aaron is up to along the way, and of course to get in touch with him if you have something that you want to talk to him about. Just saying.
Hit me up.
Yep.
Follow me. I'll DM you.
Thank you, Aaron. Always a pleasure.
All right. Thank you for having me on again.
Absolutely. We'll have you back soon. Ron, what about you?
Yes. So you can follow me at Twitter. On Twitter, I'm at RonXO. Also, about.me/RonXO is links to all my social networks. And I've got 3 episodes of my new podcast in the can. We're not quite ready to launch. It's going to be soon, though. It's probably in the next 2 weeks or so. So definitely stay tuned. Follow me on Twitter for that. And also, if you dig comic books, go check out ifanboy.com. We're going to be posting our review of Luke Cage, the new Marvel Netflix series. I think it's going to go up tomorrow or Thursday. So check that out at ifanboy.com.
Luke Cage is not a Mortal Kombat character, right?
No, he would destroy at Mortal Kombat.
Okay. All right. Just checking. What about you, Flo?
What about me? Well, I'm no longer juror number 11.
Good.
So I will be back at work
got you
tomorrow
back.
at androidcentral.com. I got a bunch of stuff coming up. First things first, like I said, LG V20 camera. It's kind of like a camera mini review, I want to say. I don't know. I'm trying something new. We'll see what the editors and I figure out. But follow me on Twitter at OThatFlow and on Snapchat, also OThatFlow.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good work. Thank you. What about you, Brian?
Well, you can go to Twitter and follow me at cranky_hippo, and you will see a bunch of pictures of my dog and whatever me and Padre happen to be doing when we're not working on know-how.
Eating crinkle cut fries?
Yeah, that was on our way back from Maker Faire. That was a lot of fun.
Okay, did you guys get cheese, though, on your fries from Shake Shack? Because that's how you do it.
Jason, I'm going back to New York tonight.
I've never been to Shake Shack. Apparently, I need to go.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah. It's the East Coast
We have
In and
those
Out.
here.
I mean, we
have those things here.
The name of the place sounds really good.
Because
We
of
have
Shake
In-N-Out
Shack in
and
Texas,
Shake
it's
Shack.
not fair.
Ooh, In-N-Out and
We
Shake
have
Shack.
everything.
Shake Shack is actually doing the dream of In-N-Out from 10 years ago. And remember when we thought In-N-Out was about to expand and blow up, and then they didn't?
Yeah.
Shake Shack is actually doing that, and it couldn't be prouder because they're a New York company. So yeah, doing great.
All right, well,
They're in Vegas.
Go.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
Vegas,
They're in all. I went during South by Southwest. I went to the one in Austin like every night. It was great. So
I will have to check it out someday.
Yep.
Yeah, they don't even have really crazy long lines here. So just come to Texas instead of New York.
I'll go to Texas, I'll get Shake Shack, and then I'll head home.
Yeah, and In-N-Out and all sorts of other things.
I got it.
I'll take you on a gluttony tour.
Yeah, In-N-Out's like literally around the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even go to In-N-Out. So.
Let me see here.
All about fast food.
I know. Suddenly I'm very hungry. About.me
All about
/ Jason
burgers.
Howell, yellowgoldmusic.com for music stuff that I do. Sign up for the Twit newsletter, twit.tv/newsletter.
It's really good. Sign up for it.
Yeah, do it. We talk about
I read it every week.
There's things that we do on the network, and they are printed there, and then and you go, oh, okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And then you are enlightened. But as for this show, that's it. This is all we got. Voicemails, 347-SHOW-AAA if you want to leave us a voicemail. Email and video mail can always be left at AAA@twit.tv. I couldn't help but notice we don't get video mail anymore.
we had a nice run.
We had a nice run. It was really nice.
Now you're all letting us down, man.
Yeah.
Come on.
Change it. Make it happen.
Please.
AAA@twit.tv. Yes,
mail.
please. Twitter, we are at Android Show. Reddit, we are twitaaa.reddit.com. Show notes and past episodes at twit.tv/AAA. You can also find us on YouTube and iTunes and catch us live every Tuesday, starting somewhere around 5:30 p.m. Pacific at twit.tv/live. That is it for this week. We'll see you next week on another episode of All About Android.